that somebody may enjoy, that somebody may be glorified, and someone may put a smile on their face. We want to thank you for coming to read our history as to where we've been and where we intend to go. Thank you for coming to hear our story of the things that is going on. Thank you for bearing the testimony here today for who we are and who God has called each one of us to do. Thank you for being with us as we sing to the glory of God our music of 100 years. St. Stephen's, within a very short time, has gone through a lot of transformation. To those of you who have not been there for some time, if you get there, you open your eyes. It is not me who did it. It is through the dedication, recommitment, sacrifices of the men and women today who are responding to the call of God, who are using their gifts, their talents, their services, their resources, and building upon the legacy that has been left behind by our forefathers and our foremothers. It is our prayer that God will strengthen and mold us as we prepare our mind, as God gives us a new vision and a new mission to reach out the community in which we've been called to serve. So by saying that, let me also take this time to invite you for you to come tomorrow to listen to one of the most renowned preachers of our time. The shortest sermon I've heard from him was 2 minutes 45 seconds. And that was in the assistant house just about 4 weeks ago. The sermon was welcome. That was it. Even though it was 2 minutes 45 seconds, I left the office with a lot of questions that I had to work on. How do I welcome myself as someone that God has called me? How do I welcome others in the image of God? And how would God welcome me as his servant? Even though it was 2 minutes 45 seconds. So could you imagine tomorrow with about 30 minutes where to go? So I just want to invite you to come and join us and listen to Bishop. If you've never had a chance to listen to him, please come. Not only will you be blessed and touched, but you will go home transformed. And you look at things from a different paradigm shift. With all of this said, let me express my sincere thanks to everyone once again here to Central Committee, for all the members of St. Stephen's, both old and new. Once a professor said, Sir Tennyson, a renowned professor said, we shall pass through this world but once. But if therefore you have any good thing to do for your community, for yourself, do not postpone it. Do it now, for we shall pass through this world but once. This is your day. This is the hour. Sing your song whilst you are alive. Sing your song whilst it will bring joy and hope into the world. Sing your song of hope. Sing your song of encouragement. Sing your song of love. Sing your song of forgiveness and reconciliation. Sing your song to put a smile on your face and on the face of somebody. Thank you all for coming. May the good Lord bless you all. Thank you.
Back in 1978, when now Bishop Michael B. Curry was ordained as the priest at St. Stephen's Episcopal Church, I remember going to that ordination service. It was one of the most beautiful church services I've ever been to. And one of the happiest days of my life was being at the diocesan convention when, at that time, Reverend Curry was made the bishop of the Diocese of North Carolina. Bishop Michael Curry has led this diocese for a number of years now and has done so many great things, not only throughout the diocese, but throughout the United States. And I was a good friend of the bishop's when he came to Winston-Salem back in the late 70s. We became good friends, and I used to go to St. Stephen's because I was a member at St. Anne's Episcopal Church at that time. Although I'd grown up in St. Stephen's as a child, especially when Father Smith was the rector at St. Stephen's. But I remember just these great sermons that at that time Michael Curry gave as a young priest at St. Stephen's, and he's still giving those just fantastic sermons as Bishop of the Diocese of North Carolina. I call upon the Right Reverend Michael B. Curry, the Bishop of the Diocese of North Carolina, to bring remarks to you at this time. Bishop Curry.
Before saying anything else, I promise you that I'm going to maintain the standard that Father Centum set for me, no more than 2 minutes and 45 seconds. St. Stephen's, happy birthday. Happy, happy birthday. And may God bless and prosper you and even generations yet unborn to dare to trod the gospel highway and bring love, passion, justice, and goodness into this world anew. Secretary West said it well. As I heard him speaking, I saw his mother. I kept thinking of his mother. I kept thinking of her. And he said, she used to call me Father Mike, and she did. You know, Ms. West would talk real fast. Father Mike. In fact, it was one syllable usually. It was one syllable. But when she called, I answered. Like him, I was blessed by this church and congregation. I was blessed to learn many lessons and to be formed profoundly as a human being, as a man and as a priest. I remember one time, and I'm going to be quick, I'm going to stay within those 2 minutes and 45 seconds tonight. But tomorrow is another day. But I remember that some of the folks were having some issues among themselves in the church, as the saints will do periodically. And I was a young priest, and I remember kind of walking away, just kind of leaving the room, and it was Olivet Bynum who stopped me in the hallway and said, "Father, if you don't lead, they will." I learned a lesson about leadership and not running away and staying put. Secondly, I learned about bishops and what they do. I did. When I was a senior seminarian, and I had served in Rocky Mount as a seminarian associate at Epiphany Church there. And so Bishop Frazier invited me to, well, I sent a letter to Bishop Frazier my last semester, and said I'm looking for a job. And so he wrote back and said, "Come on down." And he already knew me from my work the previous summer. And Marshall Bass picked me up at the airport and drove me up to the church, and I was to meet with the search committee. Well, it turned out the search committee was the whole church. Everybody was there, including the bishop. Bishop Frazier was there. Marshall hadn't told me all that in the car coming. Anyway, we got to the church and had the interview, and after the first question, some of you will remember Bishop Frazier. Bishop Frazier could talk. In fact, the clergy used to call him Talking Tom. Tom Frazier. And anyway, Bishop Frazier could talk. I answered the first question, whatever it was, and I gave what I thought was an intelligent, articulate, well-formed, shaped, and clear response. And then when the second question was from Tom Hooper, it was Tom Hooper asked the second question. Bishop Frazier said, "Tom, he's all right, he's my man." That was the end of the interview. We shook hands, we went into the priest's office, and Bishop Frazier sat in the rector's chair and said, "Well, Mike, how did we do?" I said, "Oh, we did fine." Little did I know, I thought I was actually making a decision, but in fact, Marshall Bass and Tom Frazier had already gotten together.